Так, Паша, появись.
Появился.
Ага, ждем. Сейчас ссылку получил, Феликс, ждем его. Так, тогда я, наверное, может, как лучше, приостановить запись или... Ладно, дождемся, он войдет. Потом уже вырежу тогда. Так, так. Что ты, повторил английский?
Нет, не успел.
Ну, я небольшой план накидал, потом ты там, в процессе, короче, по мере понимания будешь участвовать.
Понимаете?
Да.
Так, а что Юля?
Юля тебе привет передает. Сейчас, подожди, сейчас она... О, Феликс.
Пашечка, привет.
Привет, Юля. Ты с нами будешь?
Я на курсах.
Я понял.
Hello?
Hi, Felix.
Hi,
Yeah,
Felix.
hello. Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we are here.
Sorry about that. Just give me a minute.
Okay.
Свет включу.
Wow. So much
Yeah.
lighting.
We will see you. We
Yeah.
hear you.
Hello,
Hello,
give
Felix.
me a minute. So,
Are you still in office?
yeah, I had to because I'm not done yet. Just give me a minute. I have some- Good.
Are you ready?
Are you recording right now already?
Yes. But I will cut some moments.
Okay,
Okay.
sure. Yeah, definitely.
Okay. That's today we are gonna talking about your experience, about your way to become a PPC specialist.
Okay.
Felix, please introduce yourself. Who are you? Where are you from? How old are you?
Okay, my name is Felix. Felix Ibe. I live in the south of France. It's in a city called Osogor. It's close to the seaside. I've been here for like 14 years now, 15. I'm naturally originated from Nigeria. And then I've been here for some time. Studies. I've been in a couple of other countries, the UK and Lisbon. Studied everywhere. I studied basically. I have a bachelor's degree in business administration, and then in my master's degree, which I did in the University of Lisbon, which was more specialized on data and world internet studies. So this opened my view to the PPC world and SEO and SEM. What else is there to know about me? I don't know. What else you want to know? I work with a company right now, which is called 4x4 Parts. It's situated in France, in the south of France. I'm in charge of SEO and SEM, which is search engine optimization and search engine marketing. I also do. I also handle everything concerning Google My Business, Google database, anything Google Ads, Google Analytics, data in general, web data. That's a full-time job. Besides that, I also do a couple of freelance I run some personal businesses. I run PPC for some personal businesses, which I do with freelance account where I have with Fever. Don't know if you know about that. I also work with Lionbridge. Don't know if you know about Lionbridge. I do data analysis research for Lionbridge and for Google Maps, which is we correct requests on queries on Google Maps, which is a company which works for Google, which is called Lionbridge. And then apart from that, what else do? I run I've got my own app which I run here, which is a delivery system which I developed last year, and then I've been doing that for about a year right now. So well, I mean, I've been into tech ever since I discovered the data world with my master's degree in Lisbon, and then I've been working in data generally, web data, SEO, Google Ads, and then leads, anything that has to do with Google Ads and SEO, SEM, which is my major specialty actually right now. So that's about me.
How many years are you working in digital marketing?
This will be my 5th year. Okay. Well, I initially started after my studies, so this is about 5 years that I was done from the university. So I've got other trainings since as well, normal Google certificates, analytics. I have beginners and professional level courses, which I validated with Google Analytics, Google Ads, and Data Studio too. I have a intermediate certificate, which I have all on my LinkedIn account. And well, I've been doing that for 5 years right now.
Perfect. Felix, can you range your top of PPC or digital marketing services, or what you use, or every day, or sometimes?
Well, what I use basically, I'll tell you my best tools, which are the classic tools, which is Google Ads, which I think, well, have had ups and downs, a lot of changes over the past few years. You have to be always on the trend, follow the market, and follow the changes. And then my second best tool, which I use to create art, I'm used to publish ads, is Bing, which is a network, it's a social Microsoft Search. I don't know if you guys have that over there, which is the second most used internet search network. I also do a little bit of native ads, which I use very few, which I do on Yahoo and a couple of other search engines. But
you have its personal ad service.
Yes.
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 Interesting. I never heard before.
Yeah, it's called a native standard native ads creation on Yahoo, which you could do that on Yahoo. No, Quant is, we don't use ads on Quant, but you could diffuse on Yahoo Yahoo emails, which is mostly used to target specific customers list, which have yahoo.com accounts. Actually, that's just it. You know, you generate audience from your database, and then you target only people who have Yahoo database. Actually, you don't just do that every.
Is Yahoo a popular system in your country, or in your countries where you run ads?
Well, the most used internet exploring system here is Google. After we have Bing, which is the second most used. Some people like to use Ecosia, which is a new search engine, which is ecological. It's a new search engine which is well, people don't know that, but it runs with the same interface as Bing, which is almost like Bing, but it's just modified to have a new ecological view. But the motor behind it is Bing. It actually runs on Bing. And then you have other ones like Quant, which is another search engine. And then we have other new ones, but they're not really popular in France. So most times I target different geolocations. I have a database which people from, well, the company I work from, we have clients from 187 countries, 67 countries, sorry. So depending on the country where you have clients, I filter my database and I segment which countries, and most times I use indicators from the data. If the person has an email address, which is Google, I know he likes Google. So I treat them mostly on my Google ads because I know they use Google search engine. And if I have someone who uses Microsoft email, I know he's mostly going to use Bing. And then most times I just try to filter my audience based on the indicators and then the use which I get from my database, customer database. Yeah.
Very interesting. Are you running ads in all the world or in some countries?
Over the world. Well, the world is a small place to me, but I realized that when I started doing PPC, because I used to see the world as a big place, but today it's a very small place. So I run ads in, like I said, for my company. We have clients all over the world because we are the largest distributors of 4x4 parts in the world. So we have clients in over 167 countries. And then we have
vehicle tools or no? For cars, parts for cars, yes?
Yes, but for SUVs and on 4x4s. Yeah.
So I remember you showed me.
I showed you that when last time we were in Ukraine. Yeah, I know I showed you that. Yeah. So yeah, I've been with them. So we have a customers base, which we have customers all over the country. We have physical stores in about 8 countries right now. We have physical stores in an island, Union Island, in Spain, in Tahiti. We also have physical stores in Guadeloupe. I don't know if you know that country. In Martinique, mostly island countries. Actually, we have a strategy where we install physical stores where people use off-road vehicles mostly, which are mostly on islands and mostly on remote areas, you know. So this is where we have most of our physical stores, and every other sales happen online on the website, which I handle the SEO and then Google Ads. So most times I target people from Russia. I have clients in Russia too. Everywhere. Yeah.
Felix, I have questions.
Yeah, go on.
What's the main source from you get clients? Maybe Upwork, LinkedIn, or Gypsy Radio?
As freelancer, yes?
Yeah, well, it depends. Well, I would consider that as leads, where I generate most leads. Yeah. Social media.
Social media.
Okay. Yeah, social media is one of the very good spots because this is where we get the first interactions. We also have our internal database, which is mostly much specific when I use Google Ads. So social media get leads or clients to get to discover our company. When they come in, they click on the ads, which most times I have trackers, and then I track, and then I get them to try and make a purchase. And before you purchase, you have to create an account. You have to create an account with
it's
and when you
paid traffic. Yes, you not make some noise in social like Facebook or Instagram, and you just run Facebook ads and that's all. Or maybe you have some funnel, sales funnel.
Sales journals, yes, I do, but that's for my customers list. Because before you come to my account, before you come to our website, you have to create an account, even if you don't buy. So most times I use that customers leads. Most times we organize events where we invite people to come and discover maybe a new product. And then during this event, we could tell them you can try to play a game where you win a free parts, something for your car, because we're mostly into car. And then they fill up forms to participate in the game and with their name and address. And then this is my first party data. And then this is most ways.
Yes, you create some event for this, yeah?
Yes.
Right, understand. And
yes.
You create live streams, webinars. Yes.
Webinars, streams. Well, it depends on what account I'm working on. Right now, I don't really do. What we do organize events which are more like webinars, but physical events, not online, because we want them to come, because we have a local, we have a office, we have a big store where people could come. So not really webinars. Webinars more likely if I want to maybe sell, or I want to have leads for other customers where I work in freelance, maybe depending on the company. If the company is maybe, or it's a client who does SEO, for example, yeah, I could create a webinar. Or if it's a client who provides a service, yeah, I could create a webinar and talk about that, and then maybe invite people, and then have people create a kind of a form, leads, where I generate their email address, and then that's name, email address, and then email, and then surname and phone number. That's the only way I can get leads from personally. Another good way is Google, but you know, Google is more and more restricted in terms of they put mobile first party data first. So most times based on cookies, we have limitations for that, because cookies are more limited because of the RGDP law. So most times you could create leads on the webinars or something like that, but it will not be as effective on your PPC, like when you have real leads with numbers and address and email address, and you inject it to your campaigns directly using a CSV file or Excel file, and then like I'm doing right now. I can show you my screen. So yeah, so it's more efficient that way today.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah.
Well, did I understand correctly that we talk now for generate clients for agency? Yes.
Yes.
Yes. And how you generate leads to your personal as a freelancer, or you not generate leads to your for your experience as a freelancer?
Well, as a freelance, I'm not really into generating leads, because I do generate leads normally, but they come in naturally because I do sometimes events, or I work on some clients, and then I maybe put my name somewhere on the website, or have them talk to people, other clients about me, or I give them promotions whereby I use my name or something like that. I don't really have a lot of YouTube videos because, as you can see, I'm not really so, but as a freelance, I could give advice if you want to generate leads, which I feel could be effective most times, is also, I would say, first of all, social media, which is the best way. But consumer strategies, consumer behavior has changed over the days, over the years, I would say. Most times you have to offer something to get something back. So if you're a freelance and you maybe want to have more people coming to your website, you could offer some kind of training or information, which is useful. Or you invite people to come and take part in a webinar where they have to fill their form or put in an information before they can take part in the webinar. And then this is the way you could get some leads. Keeping in contact with events or changes, which are like for instance, people who do PPC or stuff, so Google Ads. Most times they always want to get informations about latest informations about Google. If you could always be ahead of information, get the first information, first of all, you could always offer that and then offer people to take part in your webinar. But before that, you maybe some kind of fill a form to participate. Even with Zoom, like for instance, you sent me a link, you have the option to either make it compulsory to put your name and your number before you can take part, or you can send a link which is open. So this is another strategy. Instead of just sending a link whereby people can just come in without leaving any information, if they want to take part in the formula, they fill in their names and their information. This gives you it gives you, first of all, right to a little bit of information and leads about them to target them afterwards, maybe, or have them click on your YouTube channel, like, subscribe. Well, these are old strategies right now, but they work. They still work. You know, so these are ways we can generate leads as a freelance, you know, which is more important. But one thing we have to have in mind is nothing goes for nothing, because people today or users on the web know now that everyone wants to get in from first-party data. Everyone wants to have information about, so they can actually target them you know, so they want to have something before they just fill their name and their number and then have you fill up your database, you know. So you offer maybe free training, information about updates of web software, new Google changes, new strategies, new campaigns, some information which is useful, you know, and then people could keep up with your page or your YouTube or whatever you're using, any strategy you're using.
Okay. Felix, I have a question. What do you think about new Performance Max campaigns, and what do you think about old smart shopping campaigns? What is better, in your opinion?
My opinion, I would say Performance Max is more efficient. Is more efficient. It's not better. It's more efficient if it's created initially properly. You know, old smart product campaigns were a little bit more complex because it demands different kind of KPIs to boost it. Well, to me, Performance Max requires having all channels globally working so all the algorithm puts together display, search, and what you have normal classic video ads. So what is more important to me, if you have, I run performance ad campaigns, they're a little bit more expensive because they are very, very rich in content, because they use a lot of content, videos, image, display, and even down to YouTube. But if you have good solid content, you have good parameters, you make sure your percentage on most of your assets are good and not just are excellent and not just poor, above 90% before you run the ads. Today, keywords are mostly broad matched, which are more effective with Performance Max campaigns. Why? From my own experience, I think Google tried to make something a little bit much easier for advertisers like us, but the rules are still complex. The rules having all of the assets in excellent, it's quite difficult. Some images might not be the same format. You could have text which don't convert, that it reduces your chances of having a good position in when it comes to the ad performance in general. But once you start having conversions on Performance Max, the algorithm works much better than Smart Product Ads previously, because it combines this four different platforms: search, image, video, and text. It combines these two to have a maximum conversion. So if you have these elements good, and you can start having conversions, initially it's going to be expensive because it needs some time to run, and it keeps running, and it keeps giving you back some of your assets which are not performing. You have to go and change them. So I think Performance Max, if you want to have the very, very good best of it, if you have to wait from 2 to 3 weeks or 4 or a month, and then once you still have conversions, the algorithm gets to understand better your clients, and then from 6 months you could start having very, very good productions. I'm giving this large. It works for me. I don't know. It depends on the account. It depends on the zone and the geographical area, once again, and the type of people you're targeting. But it takes a lot of time, but it's actually quite efficient.
Felix, maybe...
Go on.
I'm sure, Pavel. I think Google says with Performance Max campaigns that audience is the first of all, no matter where your ads show it. But I was very disappointed when I can't see the search queries my ads were showing by clients. I don't see placements where my ads were showing. I don't see videos. I don't see channels. I don't see anything.
Yes.
It's very disappointing me.
Yeah,
What are you think about this?
Yes, I hope they're gonna. Yeah, I have the same feeling with you. I'm disappointed because you have a less ideas or vision about the performance of your ads, because you don't know where the placement of the ads, you don't know what website, if it's website which is in relationship with what you're trying to sell, you don't know where it's showing. On other ads campaigns, you could see YouTube bumper ads, you could see where the kind of website or YouTube page, and then if it's not really your niche, you could just go and remove them. But in Performance Max, everything is done by the smart bidding, actually. So like I said initially, Google is trying to make things easier for advertisers, but they're making it more complex, and they're having you spend a little bit more to get the best with time. So you have to actually invest, let the algorithm work. I tried it. I was disappointed initially, but I had a couple of friends which I worked at Google, which explained to me and told me, just let it run. Just keep correcting the text, which it gives back to you, telling you this is a low performance standard. You could change the text. You could just change a little bit of just a word or just a line or something, and then just put it back and let it run for some time. And then with time, the algorithm gets more intelligent and gets to understand more of your audience. First party data comes in handy. If you have, it could also work hand in hand with display too. If you have other display ads running, they both could work in harmony. I understand your frustration. This is the same with me and I think everyone. I hope Google is going to give more visuals to that. Even with the geolocation, you don't even know where it's showing on Google Maps, which is annoying. You see, so maybe they're working. I'm sure they have something coming up soon to make Performance Max, which is meant to be the latest campaign strategy. Well, I hope they improve this soon. But for me, I initially I had the same feeling, but I just, well, maybe let's let it run, and then got a little bit positive, results later on. So,
and one important moment, your ads can be shown in all the world. If you choose one country on one region, no matter, Google says, I better know when you must be run your ads. And if you run ads in Argentina, no matter, I will show your your ads in America or in another country, and you can stop this. Your ads will show it everything, everywhere.
Yes. Oh, okay. Like, well, you could exclude some countries, which is
You can't.
yeah, you could. I'll tell you how.
Oh.
I'll tell you how. Like I said initially, it depends on your.
It's my questions about maybe you have secret tricks or best practice for performance max.
Well, for me, I have no secret. What I do is like I said initially, I have just give me a minute. I have a phone call. Just give me a minute.
Okay, okay.
Sorry, 2 minutes.
Ça te dérange?
Non, dis-moi, je t'écoute.
Juste pour que tu te rappelles, à 20h, c'est toi qui gères. Hein?
À partir de 20h jusqu'à quelle heure?
Jusqu'à 10h.
Ok, ça marche. 20h, je suis en réunion jusqu'à...
Dans management, là, je gère jusqu'à 20h, ok?
Ok, jusqu'à 20h. Tu m'envoies un petit message et je vais prendre le relais après.
Ok.
Ciao. Ouais, just give me a minute, 2 minutes.
Okay, okay. Let's make a pause.
Okay, you're back. Well, I have no secrets, like I said. What I do is it's just like you preparing more of your audience, your first pillar data. You treat it. This way, you exclude clients which are not in the location where you're targeting. Well, like my case, I have people who come from all over the world into my website and they create an account. So I have their numbers. So with a number, I can know where you are with the code, okay? With your country code. So what I do is on my first paid data, I filter based on your location. So each ad where I create, I use the first paid data and I make sure every client in that first party data is in the country where I'm targeting and not from another country. That is one strategy. It's not 100% effective, but I've tried it on some accounts, some campaigns, whereby I used only customers database, which with people in that country, and I used it on maybe a display ad and run the display ad alongside a performance max ad. You understand what I mean? Okay, maybe I'll explain to you more. If you have like say, you can put in first party data as a customer's audience. So you don't use Google audience.
Oh, you make just one signal in audience signals in Performance Max, and you put your customers' data and anything and any more.
Not just the customers' data.
Oh, very interesting. Very interesting tips. Thank you.
But and then nothing more. Sometimes it will tell you you don't have enough. You could. Well, I have a website with over 10,000 users almost every day. So I have a huge database. It depends on your what kind of account you're using. But if you're in for a big company or big account, you have a lot of data. You filter your data, you trade it to uniquely geolocations, and you use just that audience for that country, and then you target. If you don't have enough, you could use audience in Google, and you try to use audience which related to your country.
Oh, very interesting. Very interesting.
Like for instance, some audience in Google could tell you, you could filter, like for instance, automobile. I'll give you my example. Automobile in France, we have Citroën. And I know in Russia, nobody drives Citroën.
In Ukraine.
Maybe in Ukraine, but maybe in some countries, because Citroën is a French car. Okay, so when I target Citroën, I know most of the people who are going to be seeing my ads are mostly French, because I'm using an audience which Google already generated from its own user database. And then most people who use Citroën definitely in that database are going to be in France. So they have other KPIs, key performance indicators, which you could use from logic, from everyday logic, and try to apply it on trying to, you know, on Google audience, because Google has a whole range of audience. You could use brands, big brands. Maybe you're doing you're selling baby food, and you want to post PPC for a baby food. And sometimes you have Nestle or a brand which you know is purely French or purely American, and then you search in the list of Google audience for that specific, even if it's not going to tell you it's a French brand, logically you know this brand is French, you know, or it's English, or it's American, or it's Russian.
Oh, the world is international, and we in Ukraine we drive Renault, Peugeot, Citroën, and another French cars.
Really? Okay. Yeah, I know this. But if Google generates a customer's base audience internally, 80% is going to be actually generated from the real people. You kind of have the same number of Citroën users like we have in France. You know what I mean? Like so fine, you have a couple of vehicles in Ukraine which are Citroën, but from Google database, if you do automobile, you go brand and you choose Citroën, you're a bit sure that Google database will have 90% of the people living in France, because that's the people who Google going to generate on your database. So it's a strategy to try and limit geolocation link trees, because Google used this to try and get maybe more money from people, because if you constrain your ads to just one city, one country, well, that means you're gonna do better than every other person, you know. So I think is a way Google tries to give everybody a level playing ground. So you can turn around the algorithm and try and get your a little bit of specific. First is first party data, I would say, and then using Google internal audience strategy to try and understand, you know, what kind of brands audience which corresponds to certain geographical area, and try A/B testing. You know, you make a copy of what you did with another zone, and then you let it run for a week. Well, you know what I mean by A/B testing, and then you see which has the highest CTR, and then based on the CTR, you can know, well, even if you don't know the country, but you know it's got better clicks, it's CTR, and then you could just put off the other one and then keep the other one running. You know, that's just.
I have an idea about geo and performance max. For example, in Google Analytics, we can create an audience for exactly a country, and this audience we can include in performance max like signals.
Yes.
Remarketing audience and
yes.
Not targeting like a brand like Citroën, because Citroën can drive in any country.
Yes, yes. Yeah. You know, well, most times that is one. Another strategy is language. You know,
of course.
You could create your text using Ukrainian, French. It helps restrict the algorithm on trying to show your ads in other countries which don't speak the same languages. Like I said initially, Google is going to try to reach the most people with the smart campaign bidding, which you have, which I think Performance Max runs on smart campaign bidding with broad keyword match. I think that's the algorithm within. I'm not a Google. I don't work in Google, but I've been working with Google tools for a couple of while to understand it a bit. And then this you need time for Google to understand, for the algorithm to understand that, you know, you need to target people who are speaking a certain language in a certain geographical area. So if you could help Google on the algorithm, it reduce the time which you spend money on running the ads. You know, like I said, nothing less than 3 weeks to a month before you start seeing positive results with performance marks. And then from 6 months with a certain level of conversions, if you keep correcting your assets, you will definitely see your CTR grow. That is for sure. Image, assets, and text. If you got good quality content, video, and then you just keep correcting. If Google says this has low performance, you try to make a better content which has more striking or more call to action. This corrections helps increase in CTR. And then, well, initially you spend a little bit. I can remember I started running an ad which I had, you know, I had cut off the cost for conversion, not the cost on the ads, but the cost for conversion with about 40 to 50% over a period of 3 to 4 months. And in 6 months, I was running half the cost of conversion which I had when I started the ads. So you need to take some time for the algorithm to work. And then well, like I said, it's trying to make things easier, but it's making it more complicated for advertisers, I think. Yeah.
Okay, and I want to know your opinion about new GA4. What is better in your opinion, universal analytics on GA4, and what is useful for you?
That's a good question. I am old school. I prefer universal analytics. You know, I prefer, and I still think it's more user friendly. Well, it's more the user experience is more, interaction is more better than GA4. GA4 is more powerful when it comes to integrating trackers, trying to have more visions on what is happening on your website. But it's the potentials of GA4 is not yet exploited, I would say. I think they have better things to come up, but I still prefer classic universal analytics. It's the best.
And what will you do in July 2023 when universal analytics will done support by Google?
Yeah, I know, but you know, like we are advertisers like you know, Cindy, you know that you have to keep up in the game and you have to keep up updating yourself. For now, we have just a couple of years to get to run. I already installed Google and GA4 for my account and practically all my clients. So I could start getting data, which is the most important thing. You know, I configured all the KPIs and all the necessary tags to trigger on necessary pages, so I can have conversions, which is quite different in GA4. Conversion trackings, view trackings, and page view, and all those most important KPIs. I have them already, you know, tagged and configured. Let's see from now to when I still use I still use universal. I'll tell you the truth about it. I just did the configuration for GA4. I go there on time to time, where I use GA4 more better when I want to have internal search queries, which is more specific, because with GA4, you can not just see the search queries on your website. That means what people search for. You could actually see suggestions queries. You could actually add a little bit of tags to have more information about how people use your website. This you don't have with Google Analytics, for example. So definitely my GA4 is mostly to have a better view on events on my website. I create, you know, events about what people search for on my website, what they write in the search, so that I can have a list of what they're searching for, so that I can inform the department to make sure they have this product available, because it's the most searched on the website. GA4 is good for that. And then let's see if when universal analytics is over, we could, GA4 will be better. But But to me, for now, it's a little bit too. I wouldn't say it's not complex, but I'm not comfortable with the user experience, the UX design.
Yes,
I think
yes.
it's the UX design. It's a bit too.
Maybe you don't have habits for this interface.
Maybe. You know, what do you use, Pavel? You use more GA4? Or
Yes, I use both and Universal and Google Analytics 4.
Okay.
Yes, Google Analytics 4 not usual. I also not have habit for this interface, but every day I use near 1 hour for this interface that I can understand clearly.
Yeah, you prefer GA4.
Yeah.
Everyone has a preference. I'm old school, like I said. You know, I'm more used to Google Analytics. It took me, I think, I got the message about switching to GA4 and I kept ignoring because I didn't want to do it. And then finally I had to switch over because it was an obligation from Google for SEOs to have more links, more events to create more, efficient events and more precise events. With GA4, it's much better, I would say, but well, it doesn't improve in my conversion tracking or my Google ads. I get most of my conversion tracking from Google Analytics Universal, so it works fine for me. So optimizing my Google Analytics, my Google ads, Google Universal Analytics just does the job well. So for me, it's fine for now.
There are more dashboards in Universal Analytics than in the GA4. In GA4, you can create more custom dashboards.
Yes.
In Universal Analytics, you can presets of dashboards, and that is pretty cool.
Yeah.
And we have one problem. I think that you have this problem too with users of iPhone, with users of iOS, and how you resolve this problem?
Well, it can be resolved for now. Well, iOS still remains the issues because most iOS interface in Mac too, not just the iPhones, the Macs. I think the problem is the interface itself. There's no secret to it. You just have to accept. You just have to, I don't know, try and work with consent, because cookies don't get stored with, it. So if even sometimes when you have consent, you have created cookies, created data. You don't have the real information, even when the customer gives you consent to use the cookies, and then you have cookies that come from iOS, which are not, to me, not useful. Some of them are useful. I think from the iPhone 11 or 10, I think. It's
14.
14.
Version 40 and more.
Yeah, it's just not.
I thought that server-side tracking can resolve this problem, but it's not true.
No.
And I heard that iPhone, Apple will run their personal search system with Apple search ads and more than. Did you hear this?
I heard about it, but we're still waiting for it. I hope it's gonna become. It's gonna be. But it's still gonna be limited to the iOS interface. So.
Yes.
So well, let's see. I don't know if Apple has something good coming, but I would love to have everything in Google Ads and just do everything and not have so much, because I have Microsoft Advertiser, Google Ads, and then the whole. If I have iOS ads interface, it's gonna be too much. Prefer work with one interface. and then let's see what iOS is going to come up with.
Yes, we'll wait for this.
Let's see.
Can you explain can you explain how you spend your day as a digital marketing specialist? You are, as I heard, you are multi-channel marketing specialist, yes?
Yeah.
How are you spend your day?
Well, my classic day starts most times with my notifications because I have trackers which send me notifications about, you know, most of the time I add event tracking on my performance, which is very important. Budget, you know, tracking on budget. Most times when you have limitations on budget, most times I have tracks on spikes on user. If I have an increase on a user and certain ads, well, so all that comes into my mobile phone. Like you can see, I have everything here. And then most times in the morning, I just go through them because I already prepared them initially and see what is running and what needs to get check on. And then well, that's classic. That's even before I come to work. And then when I come to work, most of the time, what I do is I spend most of my time trying to fix what I call fix events, like when you have notifications and you have recommendations. I go through the recommendations on Google Ads and other campaigns, and then afterwards I search for information about updates. You know, most of the times we are in an evolutive world. Things change so fast. I just learned today that smart search bidding. I saw that recently. I think I saw that smart search it's changed. You know, that's something I do most of the time. And then well, what do I do? Get information, work on my clients, visit, check my campaigns, and then most of the time I listen to Bluebird, to try to know about what's going on in the market, global market, and then try to find out information generally globally. And then well, I also have take some time. I go surfing. I live by the seaside, so if it's sunny, I take my board and I go surfing to try and empty my head a little bit on the ocean. And then, well, classic day. If I'm not somewhere traveling or trying to get something new, I'm most times at work or at home doing things very, very easy and nothing special, you know. But if I have a real hectic day, clients, or I have a new campaigns, yeah, I spend most of my time trying to optimize campaigns. This is most of the time.
In your Instagram, I see that you very love to traveling. And
Yeah.
I have questions. Can you work remotely in your position, or you get a vacation with your traveling?
Well, I travel a lot. I think I've been about not too much, 14, 15 countries right now, but I love to travel. Why I chose this field is because I know in digital marketing and software creation, web or developers or UX or whatever, this is the what we can do remotely. Okay. During the confinement, I worked 100% from my home. It got a little bit boring because I like to see my colleagues. But when I travel, I can work from anywhere in the world. Which is very good about my job. I can have meetings like with you. You're in Ukraine, I'm here, and we're discussing over Zoom. So this is the good part about tech. You can actually work from anywhere in the world. You could fix meetings. You could even do screen shares. You know, I have most of my clients I have clients in Germany. I have clients in Portugal. I have clients in Africa, in Nigeria. You know, most times when they are stuck, you know, I just send them a Teams and I do the work for them from my house, because you could actually take control the system. You know what I'm talking about. And most times I correct, and then they give me access, and I just do my work from anywhere. So my field gives me this opportunity to do that from anywhere in the world, which is an advantage. All I just need is my computer, my phone, and a good Wi-Fi. Very good Wi-Fi. That's important.
Okay. And how many languages you speak?
For now, I speak 3 languages currently. Or no, should I say 5? Because I speak my mother tongue, which is Igbo, Nigerian, Yoruba. I also speak French fluently. I speak English, speak a little bit of Spanish, and I would say beginner level in Portuguese. But my major languages are English, French, and Spanish.
Are you setting up ad campaigns in language what you don't know?
Good question. Good question. I have
Japan.
Japanese. No, not yet. I don't know if I can run ads in Japan. I don't know if Google can run ads in Japanese. In Japan, I don't know. Yeah, I have ads running in about 8 languages. I do ads in Finnish, in Danish, Scandinavian countries, which is most of our fixed target area, which we have most of the clients. So I have ads running in Norwegian. Well, I've got friends who are Norwegian, who live in Denmark, because I went to an Erasmus university. So in Lisbon, we have a lot of friends coming from Erasmus countries all over Europe. So I had good contacts with them. So most of the times I just create my ads in English with or in French with perfect text. And then I just send to my friends. I say, sorry, how are you doing, guys? I need you to translate this for me. Not like Google, how you say it in your local way, Yeah. And this is what brings good conversion rates, because most times if you translate with Google and then you put ads, they don't convert. So I already got to tell them, okay, look, this is what I want it for. I want you to give me translated how you say it, because if you use a very good example, 4x4 parts in Danish, in Finnish, and in Swedes, in Sweden language, it's almost the same, but it's just dela 4x4 dela dili or dilera. So it's almost the same thing, but there's R and then one E. So you don't know this as if you're not local, that's where local SEO comes in, because I also treat SEO when it comes to metadata on websites. And then that's easier because, you could have Google translate long text for you and you just do some things. But once you have descriptions, which are, what I mean, you need to hit the call to action, because you just have very few words to say your word. So you need to have someone who is local, who needs to tell you, yes, this is how we say it locally. So I just send them the text in English, they translate, and then I put it back, and then it works. So I have ads running about 6 languages. I also work on them from time to time. Once I have ads which are no longer converting, I go back to my friends. I say, come, look, this text is not really, give me, what do you say? How do you say, I come to my website, you get the best offer, but local way. And then they just translate and they send, and I try again. And so I'm not really, I don't speak these languages, but if you have friends who live in these countries, yeah, they could help you. If you want, you could call me, I could help you with French. It would be my pleasure. If you want to target the French market, don't hesitate. I could give you sparkling, sparkling
when I find
headers.
the first French client, I will call you.
Sure, no problem. I'll give you sparkling call to actions, yeah.
Thank you. And I think that the most difficult in this part of work when you run ads in not your native language is to find and collect negative keywords, because text you can prepare with help. But when you create a dashboard and you look into search queries of when your ads will show it, you can collect correctly negative keywords, and you will send this table of contents to your friends, and they will they must Паша, перевести как будет? Translate.
Translate.
and go back to you, and after you can make a rank to these words and download to your Google Ads campaign.
Yeah, I use this strategy for negative keywords. It's a little bit much difficult because well, when you use text which don't sound alike, if you use broad match, it blocks the whole thing. You have to use either exact match or phrase to have more, to not block your ads, because if you use a broad, so negative, most of the times I still use my friends, and what I do is I use most times phrase match, because so they just give me some words. Also, what I ask them is, what is the most selling e-commerce in your country? You know, Amazon is a very good negative keyword. You know, everyone who, you know, so in Ukraine, you have another company which, like Amazon. In Sweden, they have something else. It might not be Amazon, but they have where people buy. And then if you don't want your ad showing beside those kind of ads who are already, so you just tell them where do people shop for in your country? And then, you know, you just use this, first of all, to reduce, you know, and then try and see what works, you know. Like, it all depends on the country, you know. But like I said, in France, we have, everyone buys from Amazon, you know, now. You know, so my first negative keyword is Amazon.
eBay, Amazon, and
eBay. No, eBay less in France. People don't really know eBay. You know, that's why I said geographical relation counts when you want to use keyword. You have to find out. You have to use locals. So they will tell you, yeah, everyone buys in Alibaba because it's Alibaba here, you know. So and then you just go find Alibaba. But you have to find out from the locals to actually find out what works and what is the best to use negative keyword terms. Yeah.
Startup idea. Find your PPC friends in our country.
Yeah, why not? I'll do that. I'll think about that sometime. Yeah.
Pavel, do you have any question to Felix today?
Well, yeah.
Yes, I
have questions. I have one or two questions before I leave, because I have to go now. I've stayed too long in the office. I'm the only one. I'd like to know, you're in Ukraine, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I know, well, Google doesn't work the same in Ukraine and in France. Do you respect the same RGDP law like we use here?
No.
Or you have another RGDP law?
No.
For
we
Ukraine?
have no RGDP, no.
Really?
Yes.
No.
Yeah.
So how do you regulate how's the regulation done? Data, really?
Yes.
Wow.
This is the heaven of PPC people in Ukraine.
This is heaven. Yeah, I want to say it. I mean, I've been thinking about it because I know the LGDP is European based, and it's mostly based to control regulations with data and use of data and consent within European countries. But I mean, Ukraine is in Europe, so.
Yes, we are Europe. We have a similar law to European, but there are no one people is как будет придерживаться.
Not to do this law.
No one, respects the law, or does it exist and no one respects?
Our country, it's like recommendation, but not obligatory.
Okay. Oh, I understand.
But I think in the future, this is might be as in Europe.
Yeah, I hope so. I hope so, because if you say you can do anything with data, I mean, it's heaven. I mean, this is my major problem here.
Big company or company, they plan to go in Europe, of course, prepare this. But
okay.
Majority clients not think about it.
Okay, another question I want to ask is, Okay, so Ukrainian language, local, don't use the same alphabetical with other conditions, other like ABC. You have your letters in inscriptions.
Cyrillic.
Okay, what's it called?
Кириллица. Latin.
Latin?
Yeah, and we use a Cyrillic symbols.
Okay. So, do you have keywords in Cyrillic symbols? And the same in English?
Yes.
And when you use the two, what do you get better CTR?
It's independent on situation, need test. In my experience, I have some transliterate, yes.
Yeah.
Some keywords with transliterate that have more CTR than our native keywords.
Ah, okay.
But it have not the same reach as our native keywords. In the transliterate words, we have very low query search query numbers.
Okay, very low search query numbers. So most times the search query numbers are more for the Ukrainian than English.
Yeah.
Okay.
In Ukrainian, we use two languages. This is a Russian language and Ukrainian language. They are similar, but Ukrainian is more similar to Polish than in Russian.
Okay. So that's interesting, because I always thought about it. I was like, so for instance, if you want to target, can you target an English-speaking country from Ukraine, and then you send your ads in English, and fine, doesn't have any issues with that? Okay, that's good. That's
I run in ads in Latvian language. I don't know this language, and I sent the text of my ads. I sent keywords to my client who speak with Latvian and Russian.
Wow, beautiful.
We don't have any problems with running ads in English, on English markets, on English-speaking countries. That works similar to your experience.
Okay. Oh, it's almost the same thing. Okay, just I have one last question, which might be a little bit well, I don't know. I wouldn't, based on the context of what's going on in Russia and Ukraine right now. Can you still run ads? Well, I mean, because Google, can you run ads in Russia from Ukraine?
No. Any people in the world can run ads on Google Ads in Russia. Nowadays, Google are gone from Russia.
Google
so you have no more Google in Russia.
Google stopped their service in Russia. In Russia, nowadays, working just YouTube. Google search ads and other Google AdSense doesn't work in Russia.
What about YouTube?
YouTube, you can't run YouTube ads. In Russia, you can only watch YouTube videos without ads. All Russian people are users of YouTube Premium for free.
Really? Yeah, that's true, because they don't have ads.
Yes.
Oh, okay. So, and you don't need a VPN, and you don't need any special kind of no, you could actually run freely without.
Of course, they can use VPN, but not majority folk use, because it's need a little experience and understanding the digital technology.
Yeah. Okay. That's quite interesting.
You can't choose Russia as area in your Google Ads cabinet for nowadays, and we can't run Google Ads in some parts of our country, on our areas. We can,
Okay.
Because these territories are occupied, and Google excludes these areas from cabinet.
Well, which is understandable. Which is understandable for now, for the situation of things. Okay, quite interesting. Well, that's, I don't know, that would be about all the questions I have. My question is, well, when next are you coming to visit me in France?
We're very glad to see you personally, and we very glad to see you in Ukraine when the war will stop.
Definitely. I would come again, or to Poland, like last time we saw in Poland.
Yes.
And it was fun.
Yes.
So maybe we could meet in Poland, and then why not? And then you could always come to Poland, and we could, we could meet and discuss further and see how the evolution is good. So it's been very nice talking to you. And then, well,
So thank you for your time. Thank you for this pretty conversation.
yeah,
And
thank you
as
very much.
so say in your country, merci beaucoup.
Merci beaucoup à toi aussi, ça fait plaisir. Peu importe, merci. You speak French now, so.
My older daughter learned French and very good to speak on French.
Really? That's good. That's good. If she wants to, well, if she wants to exchange or learn or practice, well, don't hesitate. It will be a pleasure to, to teach. Or if you need keywords, like I said initially, or you need to create text in French, don't hesitate. I'm always here to help. Okay. I have to let you go now because I'm in the office. I have to go. And then, so thank you very much. And then have a nice evening. Okay.
Yeah.
Nice to meet you. Have a nice evening.
Nice to meet you, Farrell, too. Bye. Yeah.